Classic Hollywood may seem like glitz, glam, and golden charm, but not everyone was adored. Behind the scenes, some stars made enemies faster than fans, and they weren't afraid to stir the pot. These are the actors that directors dreaded, co-stars despised, and studios barely tolerated. Joan Crawford, Ice Queen on and off. Set Joan Crawford looked like the picture of perfection, but her off-screen behavior told another story. She was notoriously demanding, cruel to assistants, and feuded bitterly with other stars. Her icy rivalry with Bette Davis became legendary and deeply personal. Crew members described her as controlling, arrogant, and obsessed with her image. She allegedly sabotaged scenes if she wasn't the center of attention. On Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, she was accused of faking injuries to stall production. Many saw her as manipulative and ruthless, willing to step on anyone for success. Some directors refused to work with her twice, calling her toxic. Even her adopted children later accused her of abuse and emotional terror. Behind the glam, Joan was feared, not loved. Errol Flynn. Hollywood's handsome hellraiser, Errol Flynn had the looks of a prince and the reputation of a wild animal. He was charming on screen, but off-screen, constant fights, lawsuits, and sexual scandals. Flynn's womanizing was so excessive that gossip columnists barely kept up. He was once accused of seducing underage girls, leading to a trial that nearly ended his career. Directors said he was often drunk, showed up late, or not at all. His behavior was reckless, defiant, and often dangerous to production. He insulted co-stars, ignored stage directions, and punched a few crew members. His motto was, "I like my whiskey old and my women young," which disgusted many. Despite his fame, most colleagues loathed working with him. Flynn's legacy? Half idol, half cautionary tale. Frank Sinatra, the thin-skinned. Tyrant Frank Sinatra wasn't just a singer. He was also a temperamental actor with mob ties and a vicious temper. He'd walk off set if the lighting wasn't flattering enough. Directors feared his mood swings. One moment he was charming, the next he was yelling and storming off. Sinatra had connections, and he wasn't afraid to use them to intimidate people. He once had a journalist beaten for writing a bad review. He insulted co-stars he didn't respect and reportedly slapped crew members for looking at him wrong. His ego was legendary. If he wasn't treated like royalty, he exploded. Even close friends admitted Frank could be a nightmare professionally. Some actors even declined roles just to avoid working with him. He wasn't just hated, he was feared. Marlon Brando, the genius nobody could stand Brando, was a revolutionary actor and a complete nightmare on set. He refused to memorize lines, insulted directors, and changed scripts on a whim. During Apocalypse Now, he showed up overweight, unprepared, and demanded scenes be rewritten. He clashed with nearly every co-star, calling them mediocre or overrated. One director said Brando was an egotist disguised as a rebel. He was frequently late, difficult, and made production hell for everyone. On Mutiny on the Bounty, he refused to listen to the director at all. Despite his talent, many actors dreaded working with him. Studios tolerated him for box office returns, not likability. Brando's legacy, brilliant but utterly exhausting. Laurence Olivier, the arrogant perfectionist. Sir Laurence Olivier was respected as a master of the stage, but also deeply disliked by many in Hollywood. He considered most American actors lazy and unskilled. He constantly corrected others' performances, even during live scenes. Directors called him impossible to direct because he thought he was always right. He openly mocked method actors like Marlon Brando and Dustin Hoffman. Even his romantic partners found him emotionally cold and overly critical. He thought of film as a lesser art and acted like it, his superiority. Complex alienated co-stars and angered producers. Though a legend, Olivier often left bitterness in his wake. He may have been brilliant, but few cried when he left the room. Shelley Winters. Too loud, too proud. Shelley Winters was talented, but her abrasive personality rubbed many the wrong way. She spoke her mind without filter, often interrupting scenes to criticize other actors. Winters loved to dominate conversations and called co-stars dull as dishwater. She frequently clashed with male directors, calling them chauvinist pigs. She walked off sets when she didn't like the way her character was written. Despite her awards, many insiders labeled her unmanageable. Her outbursts were so intense that some actors refused to be in the same room with her. She didn't care about likability. She demanded respect. That made her an icon to some, but a nightmare to work with. Shelley wasn't going to smile pretty, and Hollywood hated her for it. George C. Scott. The volcano on set best known for Patton, Scott was intensely brilliant and explosive. He had violent mood swings and would scream at directors. Mid-scene, he was known for drinking on set and losing his temper without warning. One co-star said Scott made every shoot a psychological war zone. He once punched a wall so hard during a tantrum that he broke his hand. He refused his Oscar win, calling the awards a meat parade. His attitude was seen as arrogant and self-righteous by peers. Crew members dreaded working under his unpredictable rages. Scott believed in acting as war and treated everyone as a potential casualty. To many, he was more frightening than inspiring. Otto Preminger. The director actors? Feared. Though not an actor, Otto Preminger's on-set cruelty earned him a place here. He bullied actors into emotional breakdowns and publicly humiliated them. He screamed, cursed, and reportedly once threw a script at an actress's face. Actors like Gene Seberg called working with him traumatizing. He drove several actors to tears and even caused one to quit acting altogether. His dictatorial approach made studios rich, but made performers miserable. He once told an actor, "You're not a person, you're a puppet, and I cut the strings." His cruelty was legendary, and actors begged studios not to assign them to his films. To many, he symbolized the worst kind of Hollywood power trip. Fear, not respect, surrounded Otto's legacy. Wallace Berry, the bully in disguise. Wallace Berry was beloved by audiences, but secretly despised by his peers. He was known to be physically abusive toward child actors and condescending to women. On The Champ, he reportedly slapped co-star Jackie Cooper to make him cry on cue. He hated sharing screen time and would sabotage other actors' performances. He once bragged about getting a younger actor's lines cut to steal the scene. His bullying behavior was tolerated only because he made money for studios. He played lovable roles, but off-screen, he was cold and ruthless. Berry reportedly got into a physical altercation with his director over petty demands. He was Hollywood's original wolf in sheep's clothing. Audiences loved him, but co-workers, not so much. Edward G. Robinson, the gentleman, with a grudge. Though a phenomenal actor, Robinson had a reputation for being vindictive and difficult. He despised being typecast as a gangster and took it out on everyone around him. Co-stars claimed he was passive-aggressive and competitive, to a fault. He had a long list of grudges, and never forgot a slight. He often mocked younger actors and belittled their talent. Some crew said he was cold and dismissive unless you were worth his time. Robinson could be warm in interviews, but cutting in private. One director said he had a smile with a knife behind it. He didn't scream. He cut you down slowly. His bitterness left a long trail of burned bridges. Conclusion: 3 lines. They may have lit up the screen, but behind the camera, they burned bridges fast. Hated, feared, or just too much to handle, these actors made sure no one forgot them. Which of these names shocked you most? And who do you think should be on this list?